As I told you that the next one is going to be a panel discussion. Hyperlocal influence, national impact, engaging consumers across non-metro and regional markets. May I please invite the moderator on stage, Pushkar Gupte, Head of Industry, CPG, Google. Please give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. We can do better. And the panelists are Priyanka Shah, Head of Digital Marketing, Bajaj Auto. Rathin Lahiri, Chief Marketing Officer, SBI General Insurance. Siddharth Bajaj, Chief Marketing Officer, Dr. Batra's Healthcare. And Suruchi Kore, Head of Digital and Social Strategies, Group Communication, Bajaj Group. Ladies and gentlemen, please give them a big round of applause and let the panel discussion begin.
All right. Thank you for making it through Mumbai traffic. So I don't know if we'll have a common alignment on regional marketing by the end of this, but we've all found common ground with Mumbai traffic today from different parts of the city. Thank you for making it despite what the city has had to go through. I'm quite excited about the topic today because if you look at the rise of regional consumers, even on our platforms, on YouTube, for example, we find that 70% of consumers are coming in from tier 2, tier 3 and beyond. So there is a huge explosion and there is a huge consumer need that really comes through. We find that attention, of course, is trust, and that trust is what drives a lot of regional business as well. So maybe just to get started, a quick rapid fire sort of a question. What is the single largest misconception today or mistake that most national brands make about regional consumers?
Not knowing how forward and how well informed they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would kind of echo that, saying that I think the level of aspiration is the same. It's just that the geography is different. Maybe the purchasing power is a little lower, but the level of aspiration is absolutely the same.
Yeah.
Let me correct you. Purchasing power is far higher if you look at the reports.
Yeah, I think most of the brands now have started realizing that the hyperlocal business is not just regional business, but they are also like it's more than 50% of our audience today, and the purchasing power is quite high. And the kind of awareness that's come up with digital platforms, they are all on YouTube. Even regional audiences first watching, even if it's a farmer, they go and do a research key if there's a disease in their crops. Everything is now become digital. Yeah. So I think reaching out to the audience, the mistake that we are talking about, I think most brands today are aware that that's the audience we all want to reach out to, and how we are improving every day with our tools and communication strategies to reach out to our right audience. That's what we are all here to discuss. So yeah. Interesting. Thank you.
Pushkar, like you said, 70% of people are there on internet who belongs to the tier 2 and non-metro cities. The second aspect is 500 million people basically consume content in regional languages. But the misconception still remains that they are less evolved, which they are not actually. They are far more evolved than us, that we so-called city goers or city stayers basically call that out. So we need to basically understand those insights by getting to the ground rather than just looking at the dashboards and industry reports. So that is the misconception. I believe that we need to break that very seriously, because ultimately we as a marketers are also going to them and fetching the businesses, right?
Yeah.
So why not be part of that ground?
No, absolutely. Thank you. What I'm hearing is that English is not equal to evolution, irrespective of what language speak. Consumers are very evolved, that they are very aspirational, and in many cases have perhaps more purchasing power as well to bring to the table.
100%.
Great. Thank you. Maybe Priyanka will start with you with something like automotive purchases, which are obviously very high involvement in nature and a high consideration purchase. I'm assuming that trust becomes a non-negotiable, right? You have to get to that level of trust. How do you see your regional marketing, or perhaps even creators in the specific regions, how do you get them to build that trust with consumers on something which is as high involvement as automotive?
Thank you for the question. At Bajaj Auto, we work on 3 principles. One is product truth, one is the brand truth, and the third is authenticity. So if your product is not good, irrespective of brand truth or authenticity, it will fail. If the brand doesn't stand for things with the other 2 pillars, it will fail. Hence, if you know, traditionally, Bajaj Auto is known for bringing out phenomenal product. And that's where the confidence stems out, that we know that the product that goes out in the market is world class. Behind that, how do you reach out to tier 2, tier 3? We have then built the pillar around authenticity and giving the freedom to the creators, where we do not go with a brand script. We do not go with the principle that the first 6 seconds my brand logo should be seen. Because if I go with a guideline as Bajaj Auto, it is very easy for me to arm twist because I'm paying. But then it just becomes a parallel product film which may come at a cheaper cost or higher, we don't know, depending on which creator I'm using, but loses its authenticity and loses its touch of the cultural nuances that your creator will actually bring in. Because we feel that the knowing the market, knowing what will connect with the customer who will buy my product is something that the creator brings in. And we'll talk more as the panel progresses. So this is the pillar that we work on, and this is how we approach the creator economy.
All right, so what you are emphasizing on is trying to maintain the authenticity that comes in from the creator, because that's the currency that the creator deals with.
Absolutely,
with as well.
And at the core of it, your brand, your product has to stand out, because it's very important for the product to be good, then for the entire chain to follow.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And I mean, my favorite thing to do is pick up any of your favorite YouTube creators and go to the comment section on one of their videos. The kind of engagement that happens there and the question and answer that happens, that really shows the authenticity and credibility that they bring to the table. Yeah. Moving from maybe one automotive, which is high involvement, to something like finance, and which is again very high consideration. Rathin, how do you try to build that trust and recommendation that will come in for your products with regional customers?
So let me give some basic background so that everybody has some perspective. So I look after marketing for the general insurance business. The general insurance business is growing at roughly 50% faster than the rate of the growth of the economy. So the economy is growing at 7.5%. The industry is growing at 10.5%. And this is on a base of 3.6 lakh crores. So it's a pretty large industry and growing pretty fast. There have been various triggers to the growth. COVID was a really big trigger, which actually led to a lot of people kind of adopting health insurance and thinking of health insurance far earlier than they would have. Earlier, we would see that, it was only late 30s when typically, people would look at taking health insurance. That number has come down significantly to early 30s. That's a massive shift. And the growth in health insurance numbers, the growth of, in fact, the standalone health insurance companies is all like 25-30%. So that's even faster than the overall industry growth. Now, with the brand SBI, your awareness consideration comes up very, very high, right? So what we have been focusing on is how can we kind of ensure that that we are able to portray to the customers that we stand for trust and we deliver trust. So what we've been doing is taking a lot of examples of all our claims experience, because finally the proof of the pudding is when you actually go to a hospital and you go through the process. And at SBI General Insurance, we've been doing a lot of education to our customers, one, so that they declare all their health issues right up front, because today technology also is very far ahead, that if you have blood pressure or you have sugar and you don't declare it, it will get caught in a medical report, and that kind of becomes a barrier. So for us, using claims and using other customer referrals has been a very, very kind of big way to kind of boost our trust scores. So that's something which we are kind of really working on. The second thing again is leveraging our distribution. So that's our bank network, that's YONO, which is the SBI's app, has got some 20 million plus active users. So frankly, it's as good as Google or
we'll talk outside on that.
Cheaper, and definitely cheaper than Google, for us to get traction. So the one thing I would like to kind of just leave behind is, I think for all of us as marketeers, we look at paid channels, and there is a lot of kind of steam and strength left in our own channels. So whether it's our distributors, our agents, our customers, repeat customers, the referrals, and all of these people today are available on social, are available on digital. So just leveraging that first up before we kind of go to other media has been a big point of success for us.
Got it. So essentially looking to scale up the trust that you built up with your set of consumers, right? With financial products, I always have this, right? In every ad, you will find that last line which goes, mutual funds are subject to market risk, please read off a document carefully, right? And there's a lot of jargon that comes in with that. How do you get that across to consumers in a simple enough way that they're able to engage with it?
Yeah, so I think this is a very regulated market, and it needs to be regulated, because if you don't have regulation, you will have all kinds of people mis-selling a lot of products. So I think there's a very, very deep need for regulation. That said, I think for us, the key is how do you make it simple? How do you make it understandable? How do you de-jargonize all the products? So the way we again approach that is exactly like FMCG. In the last 3-4 years, what we have done is introduced a couple of very basic products, because everybody does not need a very complex health product. So we've started up with a starter health product. We found a channel like the SBI Bank channel, and we are rapidly kind of using that channel to create awareness. So once somebody takes in a base health product, which actually is a necessity, then there is always time for him to upsell and add on other features as his life stage also changes.
Right.
So that's been a very, very kind of important part for us.
Got it. Great. And you spoke about regulation, one of the other bits on regulation, and so that maybe I'll come to you based on that. Compliance and regulatory environment, even on healthcare, is quite stringent, right? So how do you then get your regional messaging across, perhaps with creators or otherwise, but how do you get the complexity of being compliant enough, adhering to all the regulations, and yet having that message go across in different markets?
Yeah. So one of the things which we have kind of stayed away from is actively using local influencers, right? Because it's very difficult for us to figure out the authenticity of that, and I think that whole ecosystem is also interested in monetizing, right? So today they might be pushing our product today. And I think we still have a lot of steam. So we have actually used our own, handles, whether on Instagram and so on. And that has delivered reach and engagement, which has been really astounding to us. We've had, communication which has got like 15 to 18% engagement rates. and at a reach of maybe, 20 crores, 25 crores, like 200 million, 250 million. So that is massive reach. And the key to that has been simplicity of communication, authenticity of communication, like we are what we say we are, and what you say is what you get. That, I think, if you're, and like in financial services, if you're able to deliver your promise, and therefore a lot of emphasis has been.
Interestingly, we gave out a gold button to SBI for the number of subscribers that you have on the YouTube channel as well. So that happened quite recently. But Siddharth, moving to you on how you see that compliance piece in healthcare.
So this is a very tricky space to be operating in, actually, because you are building your business, making money out of people's vulnerabilities. So that is something that needs to be think about. So compliance is given. So there are set of rules, frameworks that are already there, which team takes care of it before planning any kind of marketing strategy or creative strategy for that matter. See, important is, like Rathin also touched about, de-jargonizing things, right? So I'll quickly ask one question, that how many of us are familiar with the word trichotillomania? Just simply raise your hand if you know this word. Trichotillomania. I didn't know before joining Dr. Batra's. You can Google it later. So these are the complex terms, so which medical fraternity basically obsesses about. They want to communicate when it comes to marketing also. So how me as a marketer try to de-jargonize it, basically. Medical science will bring in the effectiveness out of it, the science part of it. People like content creators, whether it is large scale, Cat A, Cat B or regional, will make it more relatable and resonant the people who are actually facing it. So I just have to tell them that hair pulling, it's a mental disorder, basically. It's a condition, not a disorder, but where there is an irresistible urge to pull your hair all the time. Okay? And many
that
people
just happened in business reviews, man.
Yes,
but,
yes.
but
And we marketers, I know, especially performance guys. Yeah. So that is the problem. So it is not a different module that we operate in. This is part of the layer, part of the ecosystem where doctor talk about expertise when the patient arrive at the clinic's door. But creator basically make these things relatable in the very easy to understand terminologies and analogies to bring that awareness aspect, and then definitely patient expectations, patient reviews, testimonials also play a very big role as far as credibility building is concerned.
Makes sense. No, I remember my days as a brand manager, and translating complex topics or words into any local language would be a headache. But now, like you said, with a whole set of creators or authentic spokespeople, you can get those messages across in a much simpler way. Suruchi, for you, how do you see regional marketing from a group level? Because doing it for one specific business is one thing, but at a whole Bajaj group level, how do you see regional marketing and how is it important for you?
No, interesting. Like we are all discussing, so every business, like we have, I am specifically looking at Bajaj Consumer Care, which is an FMCG brand, then Bajaj Hindustan Sugar, which is into manufacturing, sugar, ethanol, then but also power business. So every audience that way has different understanding of businesses, how can we communicate with them in their language again. So that really makes a difference, because we are reaching out to the local people out there and really understanding what is it that matters to them the most. And I think that is what makes the difference when we are reaching out to hyperlocal influencers and we are giving them the complete freedom to produce content in their language as well as their nuances on what matters to them in their daily lives, what is it that will be relatable for that audience. So I think, again, being relatable to your target audience is something that makes the huge difference in any brand communication. So that's how we have to bifurcate and really reach out to our audience.
And how do you try and get consistency across all group companies that you work with, or is it more horses for courses at that point?
Yeah, so there are certain things when it goes to trust or brand legacy piece which has to be centralized at the group level. But of course, certain pieces where we are actually reaching out to the audience in terms of business and day-to-day nuances about how we can make their lives better, be it our employees or stakeholders at the manufacturing plants, because they are also our stakeholders. If it's a manufacturing plant, we have around 10,000 employees in 14 sugar mills located in the company campuses. They are really an important stakeholder for the company, and they are going to shape the brand overall identity and how they will see the company as, and we need to build in that trust in all those stakeholders. So of course at that level, what is it that we can provide to them? Is it the local health related concerns, or they need something at the company level, safety, sustainability? That is something which goes into specific business related communication. But at an overall consumer facing level, of course the brand identity has to be in terms of legacy, trust. We had to speak the same language that ties in together for the bigger, larger brand. So yeah, that's, I think all the companies really need to understand their target audience in the right way and go about it.
Makes sense. I have long felt that, having seen the earning power of creators, I've made a series of wrong career choices and I should have gotten into the creator economy at some point of time. But hearing you guys speak, be it distributors with Bajaj Auto, or employees for you, or the 20 million subscribers that you're talking about, or even your users, it looks like you're looking at cultivating both employees and your users as a whole army of creators, going beyond the ones who already exist. So it's a very different way of looking at it as well. Yeah. Priyanka, maybe coming back to you. You guys said it that the regional consumers, and any consumer for that matter, are extremely sharp and they can spot anything which is forced. You did say that you have to provide that sort of authenticity or freedom to creators as well. But again, you will have certain specific messages to land when you are selling a particular product, right? How do you try and make those two meet across, say, different regions?
It's a good question, and since I handled a lot of brands, I will not be able to give you examples of all. Let me take the example of Chetak, the EV. Now, it has many selling points or product features, as I must say. So let me take two examples. One example is that it has got huge boot space. Second example is that it has got hill assist. Okay, now these are two very interesting features which, as either a new two-wheeler person who's adopting into the space or somebody who is already using it, it works. So what we do is that we will, when you go regional, and when you speak to the creators, so it's not like when we are briefing creators, it's never a one-way communication. It will always be trying to understand from them what will work in those markets. So for example, if I'm going into a hilly region, I don't want to go there and talk about charging point. I don't want to go there and talk about boot space. Maybe, I want to talk about hill assist. So what we do is that we will inform the creator that what does the product have to offer. We firmly believe that any creator who has to work with us or talk about our product has to experience it, because it's a high involvement product. So till they don't actually experience it, the storytelling does not come out in an authentic way. Hence, with a touch and feel product like us, we encourage them to use it, and not just one test ride. Keep it for 3-4 days, try different things, then come back with what is the story angle that they are going to go with. And this has really yielded us success, a lot of organic views, and of course the ones which really do well, we do put money behind that as well. But this strategy has been working for us, where we are trying to build consideration. And of course, at a national level, we do have what does Chetak stand for, entering into the EV space, broadly fuel saving. Yeah. Those things we definitely drive at a national level, but when it comes to nuance of regional, we speak to the creator, and like I said, let them experience, let them come back with what they think is valid for that region, valid for the audiences that they are catering to. and why it will work. Now, this has seen a lot of success, especially when it comes to Chetak. Okay, and then we also look at different cohorts. So a young mother, okay, who wants to drop their kids. So ease of driving. It's not a very heavy vehicle. They can maneuver easily. They can have their kids safely parked. Anti-theft. All these features, whatever works for them in the cohort that they are in, we start targeting and capturing creators of that nature and have the story told.
Yeah, I think it's a marketer's dream, right, to have hyper-local messages which go across to specific geographies. And in the past, mass media would not allow you that. But
Absolutely.
now with digital, with YouTube, reach, etc., you have that kind of wherewithal to tailor the messages. Like you said, a hill-assessed message for a hilly area versus something else somewhere else. Right?
Yes.
Do you see business results improve as a function of those kind of messages?
Business results, I wouldn't want to comment at this stage. Definitely everything that, every marketing activity that you do has to translate into business, but definitely the consideration metrics, we do see a movement when we measure it. We do see footfalls coming in, and why do I say this is that we've trained our sales executive to check with people that what is it that has got them here. Is it just that they were deciding, have they seen a particular creator, because now we work with a lot of them. What is the feature that excites them the most? So when we have our salespeople talk to them and feed that back into the system, which is like a rolling mechanism for us, so that our next campaign, what we do is we have a system where we collect all these feedback, and whatever resonates across regions, that makes its way into the national campaign. Whatever at region level is resonating then goes into the nuances of those regions. So the feedback mechanism is very critical for us to then decide which is the next creator we want to go with.
Yeah, that makes sense with a few of my partners as well. Mondelez, for example, they've done Oreo Pongal specific communication, both in what they did for the specific region and then with the creators as well. It does lead to consumers also thinking that this is for me and
Absolutely.
this is relevant for me. So that
Yes.
kind of attention then also leads to better results from an overall standpoint.
Yeah. So I'll just give you a simple example. So if I'm doing something in Pune, we know that Pune, there are a lot of food joints. So you could do like a food thing, where on a Chetak you're going around and tasting different foods, where the story is not about Chetak. Chetak is just taking you from point A to point B, but it is about the food, which will then resonate with the audience. In some other place, we do a heritage walk, a heritage drive, where you're going from one heritage to the other. Now, these kind of nuances is something that, sitting at central level as a marketeer becomes very difficult. And with the whole creator ecosystem, I think, like AI has given us the liberty to go out at different cohorts, the creators have given us the liberty to bring out multiple stories and different nuanced stories. Sometimes we are also surprised that, this is one angle that the creator has seen and brought to us, which also find their way into our national campaigns at times.
No, absolutely. I think being in a room with creators is so energizing. The kind of ideas that they typically come up with is amazing. But after this, I do want you to share that list of Pune restaurants. My wife is from Pune, but she hasn't taken me to enough restaurants there yet. So that list will be very
Definitely.
useful. So that just coming back to you, and I think with healthcare, and you did mention, about speaking to creators and trying to get the right kind of messages to users as well. How do you see that journey going across from taking the right messages to also probably driving them to clinic? How does that work for you?
See, it's a very fragmented space, actually. The problem is it's not an impulsive buying kind of business where there is a product, you advertise it, and then there is a link where you can go and check out. Problem is that you have to, for first consultation, you have to come to the clinic. So there are multiple things, multiple touch points. We do a lot of society campaigns, corporate campaigns using creators. Then there are creators. So at a time, we basically try to pilot with 3 creators. Whoever gets better traction, basically, then we have a deeper engagement with them. So it's not just about reel, then we translate it into meet and greet kind of session. We translate it into reaching out to patient, interview them, and then showcasing it to the potential patients. Hence, it's more of a digital plus physical kind of, so phygital kind of model, where around 8 to 10 days it takes for a particular person who not even identified whether he is actually going through or she is going through a problem. So first is discovery, and then probably consuming different content across different touch points, and then reaching out to us.
How do you drive that discovery?
Discovery is through marketing only, different campaigns, regional language-based pure. It's not basically a translation strategy, it's more of a regional content in that nuance, in that cultural context also.
And you create separate videos for this
Yes,
kind of communication.
yes,
right?
yes.
In fact, interestingly, the panel just before us was talking about how, again, AI or Gemini has made it that much simpler to create those videos at scale as well, which was probably
Right. So
inhibiting
that's how
factor.
the first question also arises, that how we basically want to treat them. We want business from them, so we have to talk to them in their language they understand, they are comfortable in, right?
Yeah.
हाँ, so फारसी में बात नहीं कर सकते किसी पंजाबी आदमी से, so that is a problem. Hence, southern market is completely different. They have a different thought process, different set of values also, vis-a-vis what we basically consume, face, deal in western part of it, and the north is also a completely different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
Still, you can club these into Hindi belts, but when it comes to southern market, you have to talk to their in their manner and the way they understand.
In fact, even within the so-called Hindi markets, just talking about it, there is a Purbi Hindi channel called Gadar TV, which
Yes.
is about that region, Bihar and specific parts of
Correct.
UP, which gets a lot of traction. So again, those kinds of hyper-localization, even in the kind of content that appeals, really comes through. Suruchi, you had some.
Yeah, and I think what you just mentioned, I think that nuance can only be brought up if we are working closely with those hyperlocal influencers, creators, and people to really understand what is it that will drive traction, that will be relatable to that audience.
Yeah.
And in India, like Priyanka was just mentioning, I think festive marketing is such a big thing, and reaching out to that audience during their specific festivals, I think, in that language, and how AI has made it so easy today, where we are able to just generate content in different languages, not just translating them, but also including different nuances of that particular festival, changing the scenario, changing the complete background, and just generating content even with a picture of that celebrity or your creator or your leader at the management level, when I'm talking about corporate comms for that matter. So I think that's how things are moving, is really transformational. And very
Absolutely. And if you look at consumers today, they're doing multiple things at the same time, right? They're seeing things on a big screen, they're seeing it on their mobile phones, shorts, multiple formats, etc. As a marketeer, how do you deal with that kind of complexity now? Because being where the consumer is critical. And we find that even for things like auto or finance purchase, they might come into it watching a small shorts video, but then long form video is what drives deep research before they make their decision. How do you deal with that kind of consumer behavior now across?
Yeah, I think the tools also that are coming with AI, the analysis that's making our lives easy, the data that's coming in, the entire funnel touch points that are that we are able to now understand and leverage. I think that's really making a big difference today, because even for SBI, like Rathin was saying, that I am sure they have different touch points, how we can reach out to the audience. All our businesses, it's a big boon for us today that we are able to understand what is it that the audience is really missing out on, where is it that where we are losing our audience, and then reaching out to them as a retargeting campaign or things like that. It's that's very interesting, and I think it's time we understand the data and really unify it. The other day I was talking about how we can like go over and like unify all our teams, be it marketing, sales, data analytics, how we can all come together with a single dashboard and really understand what is the problem that's a challenge for us, and how we can make a consolidated business strategy. Because ultimately, everything coming together, leaving behind the silos, and since we are also talking about the creators, I think within the organization, working together as teams is also going to make a difference in the near future. So that's all I have to add.
No, makes sense. Please.
So I just like to add one point, which is that one must not think of the consumer as a passive being. The consumer is also looking to for something interesting. So the key thing for a marketeer, number one, is whatever you're communicating, is it interesting enough, right? Yeah. Second, is it aspirational enough? And third is, through that storytelling, are you able to communicate the benefits, in an interesting way? If you do that, today, because of social media, your engagement rates become very high, the shareability becomes very high. And that has got, so a good campaign versus an average campaign, a good campaign outperforms by a massive mile. And the job of us as marketeers is to brief well, so that we, the output, is as close to the input vision at least. And then once you know that something is working, feed it with enough resources so that that gets sustained traction, and then try and identify what's worked in it so that you can replicate it. So that's just one point.
No, couldn't agree more, because great content leads to great communities as well. And if I had to look at again a YouTube example, when Samay came back with his show, despite the fact that it was available on another platform, there was a whole community of people who were live watching together with Samay. And that kind of behavior is increasingly very high, because if you gravitate towards somebody who's giving you great content, you've suddenly created a huge community which has a lot of engagement and authenticity to go along with it.
And since we are on community, I want to bring the angle of KTM and Triumph. Now these are motorcycles where you have a 160cc bike as well and a 400cc bike as well and upwards. Now, and they are adventure bikes which require some level of skill, some level of aspiration for you to buy in. Community plays a very, very critical role when it comes to bringing the next person into the fold. So these places, just having hyperlocal marketing or just bringing in a creator does not work. They have to feel part of the tribe, and that's why we encourage a lot of aspiring people to become a part of that KTM community, because that's where, once they are part of the tribe, they will want to then go for those kind of rides, and that's where they buy into the story and then hence buy the bike. Because these are places where we are dealing with, of course, young people who's buying. Of course, they may be paying by themselves, but it's the family that takes the decision. So it becomes very critical at these kind of places for us to build the community and have that stickiness there.
Absolutely, and communities take both consistency and authenticity. It can't be built without that, right? I think we're almost at the end of time, so I'm going to ask one question that goes across all of you. We spoke about AI coming in as well and disrupting marketing in a good way with the kind of customization that can be built in. There is a lot of behavior that we see from consumers as well of using voice increasingly to ask very complex questions. No longer is search 2 or 3 words, but it is huge paragraphs, sentences with complex nesting in it. Creator commerce has been growing at a really rapid pace as well. So what is that one technology or strategy that marketeers must adopt today to win, say, the next 100 million consumers in regional India tomorrow? You can start with Siddharth.
See, my universe is very small actually. There are only 10 crore people who actually believe in homeopathy, and their first line of medicine is homeopathy only. So 100 million customers, I don't know whether I'll be able to do it or not in next couple of years, but Having said that, AI, there are so many things involved because it's not about patient. There are caregivers also who are involved. And majority of my business, around 55-60% of my business comes from tier 2, 3. Okay. Might be patient must be well aware of a lot of things, but their family members might not, who are equal part when the decision is being made. So yes, as far as marketing goes, yes, a lot of things can be automized in terms of paced creative development, content development, everything, but that emotional touch and belongingness will still be there. So I think unless until AI will transform to articulatable intelligence, things will still move in the combination of it.
Yeah, makes sense. Suruchi?
Yeah, I think when we're talking about which tool in AI, I think today we are also realizing that there may not be, I'm just referring to the recent protests, how things, we may have not really realized that where it's going and how strong it is. But the AI tools are really helping us to understand the social listening tools for that matter, that how important certain issues are for our audience, for our people, and how, what are these challenges that they are searching online, be it all these, how searches are also changing today. So even the hyperlocal audience is searching through voice. So this is the time when we are able to really analyze the data to that core audience, which may not be available to us earlier. So now I think having the right tools and really sitting through to understand what are these challenges that our audience is facing and to then reach out to them in the right way, I think that's going to really leverage the next 100 million,
so
like yes.
Faster data, faster action is what you're looking for. Rathin?
So to me, I would say for large brands, one of the most important things is unified data. Because we are in a world where there is limited resource and there are multiple options. You can spend on AI, you can spend on digital, you can spend on CRM, you can spend on above the line, below the line, so many different options. And I think a lot of marketing teams are not really data rich or not data savvy. Once you have the data in terms of who's your customer, where's the growth coming from, what's the ticket size, where are you winning share from, where are you losing, which markets, then it allows you to prioritize resources and allows you to also change the allocation to stuff which is winning. And that shows in results, which gives management confidence, which again gives you higher monies, and it becomes a virtuous cycle. So to me, that is a very important thing which a lot of marketers ignore.
Sharper choices again is where you are going to.
Difficult to be last. Most of the people have said everything. So I firmly believe product and brand authenticity have to sit at the core. AI is here to stay. How do brands adopt to AI? And of course, I'm a firm believer, and second, the point on data, very critical to understand what is coming from where. Having said that, I think every brand has to now be present in the discovery cycle of the customer, discovery and consideration. Because the way people now look for data is completely different. The whole AIO, GEO space is evolving, and before brands realize this, it's going to become a big deal. If you do not latch on to that today, and you are not available to the AI engines, you will lose out. Because today, slowly Google search is losing its sheen. People are moving to ChatGPT. People are moving, so Claude is still not there, but ChatGPT definitely is increasing in market share. You have Perplexity, which is slowly creeping in. Gemini, of course, today at 10% market share, has seen a lot of improvement. So irrespective if it is Gemini, if it is ChatGPT, today people are preferring to talk to AI agents and get their work done rather than going and just doing a Google search, because what they realize is that it gives you a far more nuanced, personalized, and a recommendation which suits your personality. And this is all happening in the background without they also even knowing it. But we as marketeers should know and at their psychological level be able to influence them. And this is where I think marketeers will win today. Yeah.
No, makes sense, but just to correct that, Google search continues to thrive right now. What is changing is the kind of queries which are coming in. So it earlier used to be 2 or 3 word phrases that would come in. Now it's very conversational. And a lot of it then moves to AI mode and people ask level 2, level 3 questions. So it's a very interesting world, and I think you couldn't be more right when you said that the trends are changing and being attuned to those changes in some shape or form. All of you said the same thing. Consumers are rapidly changing how they are. Being close to what's happening in specific regions and therefore bringing in the right solutions for them can help with the right regional marketing to get a national impact is what I'm taking away. Thank you so much for the time today. I hope this was an engaging conversation for everybody as well. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, give them a big round of applause. I request. The lunch is being served at Taj Lands and Court, which is Marcon Expo Hall. You can go there and have it. After which we're going to be having a panel discussion. It's going to be at around 2:05. It's time for me to thank the sponsors. Powered by Google, Gold Partner Affinity, Gold Partner Origin 8, Silver Partner M-Filter It, Silver Partner Double Tick, Silver Partner Voyage, Roundtable Partners, Truecaller Roundtable Partners, SEMrush Roundtable Partners, Exotel Communications Partner, Hello.ai, Bronze Partner LS Digital, Bronze Partner Connect Network, Bronze Partner Consumer.ai, Bronze Partner Pub Live, Bronze Partner BC Webwise, Bronze Partner Shimaru. And like to also say that there is going to be an amazing session which is going to be an AI masterclass, the Google masterclass. Yes, and you can attend it, and it's around 3:30. Yeah, 3:25 at Solset 1 and 2. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.